We're talking about Don Lemon being arrested. It's not just Don Lemon. There are other people that have been arrested with him. I'm trying to figure out who the fourth person is so that I can accurately report on who it is. But right now it's Don Lemon, who's an independent journalist, was arrested with another independent journalist, Georgia Fort, and was also arrested with the Black Lives Matter Minnesota co-founder. And I'm not sure who the fourth person is. I'm still trying to figure that out. But now that I've got my glasses clean, can you guys hear me all right? Oh, my glasses are still not the way I want them to be. Let me get over. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me share this on my...
Since the federal operation began, agents have been
talking about the arrest of Don Lemon. Come join us. Hello, everyone. Give me 1 second. I'm getting things set up. We're going to talk today. I've been wanting to go live all week, and I have just been having the roughest week. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't know about how you guys are doing. How are you guys doing? Let me know how you're doing. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure out where we're at in life, what's going on, what's happening right now. I am in a weird place, and I'm trying to figure it out. But I love the Substack. I love being here. What I'm trying to understand right now is, okay, so Pam Bondi just released, I'm terrified. Tammy, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So Pam Bondi just released a statement on X, which I don't understand how the federal government continues to release statements and things on social media as if social media is the place that they should be making these statements from, but whatever. So according to Pam Bondi, she said, at my direction, early this morning, federal agents arrested Don Lemon, Traherne Jean Cruz, Georgia Fort, and Jamail Lydell Lundy in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. So we have independent journalists being arrested for exercising our constitutional rights. He is an independent journalist.
And President Trump is announcing his new pick for chair of the Federal Reserve. The president says he's nominating former Fed Board Governor Kevin Warsh, saying he has, quote, no doubt he will go down as one of the great Fed chairmen. Trump has repeatedly criticized current Fed Chair Jerome Powell for his cautious approach to lowering interest rates. Now it's confirmed Warsh would replace Powell when Powell turned his spot.
Sorry, 1 second.
ABC said no date here for more on that. So, Elizabeth, what does this pick mean for potential interest rate decisions and also the overall concern about independence from political nature when you're talking about that?
Someone told me that video of Alex Pretty was real. So I'm trying to confirm if that was real or not. Anyway, we're not fear-mongering right now. We are not in a place where we are... If you're afraid right now, your fears are absolutely valid. Because if we can't exercise our constitutional rights to free speech, if we can't exercise the right for our journalists, and especially independent journalists that are putting their lives on the line with the backing of nobody but their supporters to bring us the news in the way that is the most efficient, that is the most real, and they're not being intimidated by the federal government, them being arrested is a huge infringement upon the rights, and it's telling us that we need to shut up. They're actively trying to silence us. So what do you do when someone pushes you into silence? You keep speaking. So we need to figure out, because here's the thing that everyone should be afraid of, right? Federal judges denied prosecutors to prosecute Don Lemon last week. And now all of a sudden, because he was supposed to be covering the Grammys, which the feds knew where he was going to be because he was actively talking about how the Grammys invited him to cover the Grammys. So he's there for Grammy weekend and he gets arrested. What are we doing? You go all through all these links to silence people because at the end of the day, you don't want to release the Epstein files. This is what it all comes back to. The release of the Epstein files. They're doing all of this because they don't want the Epstein files to come out.
Now.
We're not fear-mongering when we say that we're afraid because our rights are being stripped away from us actively. Let's see what they're saying.
Right. So this was the leak of the president's tax returns during his first term back in 2019. There was an IRS contractor who disclosed those documents to the press. The president now suing the IRS and the Treasury Department for $10 billion in damages over that leak. The president and his sons in the business and reputational harm. And so what this will look like is the president potentially.
I'm just going through comments right now, you guys. Give me a second. I'm trying to see what's going on.
For them leaking those documents, he said, during his first term. But the contractor already pleaded guilty. The contractor did already plead guilty and was sentenced to 5 years in jail. All right, Elizabeth Chelsea, thank you. Thanks. And President Trump is declaring a national emergency and threatening more tariffs on any country that provides oil to Cuba. The executive order calls the Cuban government's policies, practices, and actions a, quote, unusual and extraordinary threat.
Okay, I'm just going to delete this post that I made. Apparently, that video of Alex Preddy is supposed to be real. So I'm going to delete my comments on it until I can confirm if it's real or not. But anyway, going back to this. So Pam Bondi is doing everything under the sun to completely. I want to know. At the end of the day, I want to know what is it that Trump has on these people, because there's no way someone who isn't being. I'm so sorry for my dog in the background. Hold on, it's not even. Can you guys hear me all right? Let me know if you can hear me, because it wasn't even on my microphone this whole time. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Part of me is afraid because of the work that I'm doing with uncovering the Epstein files and going through and making connections and bringing voices to the survivors, to the ones that are being ignored, to the ones whose voices aren't being amplified or listened to. I am bringing a light to that, and I'm bringing their voices to the forefront. And the reason why I'm not as afraid is because I'm not as big of a creator as most of these other creators are. Like, I'm not as big as Aaron Parnas. I'm not as big as Midas Touch. I'm not as big as these people, and I'm not claiming to be an independent journalist. That's the thing here, right? I'm not claiming to be an independent journalist. I am an independent creator that is working for social justice for the survivors of anyone that has been through abuse. That's literally how I started my whole entire brand, was to bring some voices to the survivors and make sure that they had a voice in ways that we never get a chance to raise our voice to. So I'm not claiming to be an independent journalist. I am just simply stating what's happening in the world right now and how it correlates to my job. So hold on, we've got some breaking news coming in. Oh. Federal judge takes the death penalty off the table for Luigi Mangione. So there is no more death penalty option for Luigi Mangione. So what are you guys' thoughts on Pam Bondi? What are your thoughts on Pam Bondi? And I want you guys to be really honest because I feel like the DHS, the DOJ, they're doing everything in their power to go after other people to ignore the fact that they still have not released the Epstein files. And they think that the more that they ramp this up, the less we're going to talk about the Epstein files. And for me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I'm going to continue to stay on their necks. That's what I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, we need to know the truth. What are they hiding? This arrest of Don Lemon is terrifying, and I'm scared for him as he is being held right now. What is happening to him? What are their grounds for arresting him? Where's the arrest warrant? Where is the arrest warrant? That's what I want to see. What were the grounds for arresting him? Let's see if I can get some more information on that. What were the grounds for Don Lemon being arrested? Let's see if there's been any information on that. Let's see. BBC is pretty credible. So Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents on Thursday night while in Los Angeles covering the Grammy Awards. Okay, sorry, I was looking up something else on my phone. Okay, so Don will fight these charges vigorously. So what are the charges? Lemon was taken into the custody by federal agents on Thursday night while in Los Angeles covering the Grammy Awards, according to a statement from his lawyer, Abby Lowell. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court, the attorney said. Lemon went into City's church in St. Paul on 19 January with a group of protesters who said one of the pastors was an immigration and a customs enforcement official. Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. So I don't see anything wrong of what he did. All he did was go to Minneapolis and was covering what was going on in Minneapolis. So I don't understand how this was all of a sudden he's breaking a law when he literally just went to go cover what was happening in Minneapolis because a pastor was an ICE agent. A protest broke out. She is still representing DJT, functioning still as his personal attorney, bitter, angry, and filled with hatred. I need to do a deep dive on Pam Bondi's history. Let's see what her wiki says. In 2020, Bondi was one of President Donald Trump's defense lawyers during his first impeachment. Yeah, I saw that with the coordinated attack. Coordinated attack. They want to make us seem like we're the agitators so bad. This is textbook Darvo. If you guys don't know what Darvo is, it's deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender. So they're denying what they're doing, they're attacking the actual victims, and then they're reversing the role and they're claiming to be the victim. This is a clear case of Darvo. So then what they're doing is they're trying to intimidate us by arresting journalists and saying that this was a coordinated attack, just like they're saying Alex Preddy was an insurrectionist. Donald Trump should know what an insurrectionist is. If anyone should know what an insurrectionist is, it is Donald Trump. So let's see. CBS. Let's see what CBS is saying. A source familiar with the matter said a grand jury was impaneled Thursday. The FBI and Homeland Security investigations, a law enforcement agency within the Department of Homeland Security, were involved in the arrest, sources say. Let's see. A source briefed on the investigation said Lemon faces charges of conspiracy to deprive others of their civil rights and violation of the FACE Act by allegedly interfering by force with the exercise of others' First Amendment right. Let's look up what the FACE Act is. So the FACE Act is the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act of 1994 is a U.S. federal law that prohibits the use of force, threat of force, or physical obstruction to injure, intimidate, or interfere with anyone obtaining or providing reproductive health services or exercising their right to religious freedom at a place of worship. It was enacted to protect abortion clinics and staff from violent blockades with penalties including fines and imprisonment. Funny that they're using the FACE Act. The administration that doesn't care about reproductive rights is using the FACE Act to let's see. CBS, I believe that's where that source came from. Yes. So okay, so now CBS has given me more information. Thanks for sticking with me through this, guys, as I'm getting more information. So yeah, so a source briefed on the investigation said Lemon faces charges of conspiracy to deprive others of their civil rights and violation of the FACE Act. So they're saying that he was preventing um he was preventing a church he was preventing people from exercising their religious rights is what they're charging him with. And this is absolutely insane. So multiple people have been charged in connection with the protests when demonstrators entered St. Paul's City's church after discovering that one of its pastors is an ICE official. The Justice Department has asked the appellate court to compel the U.S. District Court in Minnesota to sign the arrest warrants over civil rights charges, alleging the defendants were unlawfully interfering with the churchgoers' constitutional protected freedom to practice religion. So we don't have the right to cover protests. We don't have the right to This is insane. I'm looking at so one, protesting is not illegal. Two, documenting protests is not illegal. Three, journalists are protected by the First Amendment. Four, all they were doing was covering the fact that protesters found out that a pastor at a church was an ICE agent and they protested that. Wasn't Pam like, I feel like Pam Bondi is deeper in the Epstein world than we know. Let's see. Yeah, so Bondi ran in the 2010 Florida Attorney General election facing off against former state representative Holly Benson. The Palm Beach Post creditor surge in her support. Polling conducted. So she was the attorney general in Florida. Ah, it's starting to make sense now. Well, no, because that was the 2008. So she was an attorney general when the sweetheart deal. I feel like somebody mentioned Pam Bondi around the sweetheart deal. She's she's a nightmare. She's a nightmare, and she has absolutely no idea what she's doing. She needs to be fired. She needs to be fired. Leadership isn't supposed to look like this. Isn't supposed to lead by fear tactics. Leadership is not supposed to lead with manipulation tactics. Leaders are not supposed to be narcissistic individuals that are only going after only doing things for themselves and seem to be on a massive power grab. Leaders are supposed to lead with compassion and empathy. They're supposed to lead from a place of wanting to see others around them succeed and be better. And the leaders that we have right now that are in power are just showing other people that the only way that they can be effective leaders is if they bully, intimidate, and fearmonger people. This is not effective leadership. And I say that as a leadership trainer. I help organizations get I help organizations train their leaders to lead from an empathetic place. This is what I do. So seeing our leaders be the most horrific, toxic individuals that you could ever imagine is, I don't know about y'all, but it's making me pretty mad. This is frustrating. Okay, so we've got more breaking news coming in. Hold on. So they're talking about what Don Lemon was arrested for. They're showing the video. They're saying that Don Lemon violated First Amendment rights of other people while actively taking his First Amendment rights away. I don't know about you all, but I'm very frustrated with the Democratic Party because all they seem to do is get on threads and make posts, and I'm talking specifically about Hakeem Jeffries. all they do is get on social media and write these strongly worded letters, but they don't do anything. I'm so sick and tired of our elected officials getting into social media beefs back and forth, making memes, making rot posts, making all of these posts that are supposed to be funny. They're only funny for a certain amount of time, but when are you going to get off your ass and actually do something? When are you going to say enough is enough? When are you going to be the leaders that we elected? When we talk about leadership, this is not the leaders that I see that I want to have in front of us. I'm so tired of our leaders getting on social media and writing these strongly worded letters because it's not doing anything. All they're doing is getting ratioed by the American people, and they're not even reading the comments of what the American people are trying to tell them. This is absolutely absurd. I just think that this is absolutely insane. So they're saying that they're with the FACE Act. Let me pull the FACE Act back up. So the freedom of access to clinical entrances is they're saying that Don Lemon and they're wanting to charge up to 8 people in this whole thing connected with this whole protest at this church. And they're saying that Don Lemon and the other people obstructed the ability for people to express their religious freedom at a place of worship. Hold on. Oh, shit.
You said from the KKK of disguising himself and conspiring was too.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a distraction from the Epstein files. It's what we're going to see. And I know that. So I haven't been talking about Sasha Baros much because I've been letting that story kind of rest and do its thing. I'm in contact with Lise and talking back and forth with her about what's going on with Sasha right now. They're kind of in groundhog mode or what is it, underground mode right now. But this is what they mentioned. They said that they were worried about an escalation in tactics. They're escalating in tactics. They're escalating in their tactics.
They're pushing back on his own borders are to fight a drawdown.
And they can't do anything. They're trying to find so many ways. They're trying to find so many ways to silence us. Like, it's absolutely absurd. I don't know. I at this point, I'm at a loss of words because it's like it's always something every day. And every day is like 1 year worth of news cycles. Every day is 1 year worth of news cycles. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to shove so much at us at one time so that so that we can forget that they have not released the Epstein files. This is all a ploy to not release the Epstein files. If you didn't want to release the Epstein files, why did you run on releasing the Epstein files? They know Trump is in the Epstein files. I've seen his name dozens of times when I went through the Epstein files myself. He is in the Epstein files, and it's not good. From the things that we have seen already, just from the things that have been alleged by multiple victims, this is enough of a distraction that he should be removed from the from being president. So many other presidents if we want to talk about Clinton, Clinton was removed for getting a blowjob in the White House. But Trump has done so many things, so many horrific things, and he still is allowed to be the president of the United States. I used to work in the defense industry. I used to have a security clearance. I had the same level of security clearance as the president of the United States. How does someone with 34 felonies, held liable for sexual assault, refuses to release his tax returns, has so many connections to foreign adversaries, how was he allowed to get a security clearance? A normal person like myself would have been laughed out of a security clearance for even thinking I could approach having 34 felonies. The intelligence community is being made fun of right now, and it is frustrating. It is frustrating. I'm just looking at what kind of the chatter is going on right now on social media. I want to make sure I keep you guys informed and stay informed as we move through this live. But I just think that it's absolutely insane that they're trying to say that that Don Lemon was trying to prevent other people from exercising their religious rights. Okay, let's see what they're saying. See, again, another representative, which I like what Robert Garcia is doing, and I'm not trying to come down on him. I think he's doing a good job of what he's doing. But again, another strongly worded letter. The arrest of journalist Don Lemon is a blatant assault on our First Amendment rights. Time and time again, the Trump administration pursues its own political enemies over real justice. This is an attack on free press, and every American must push back on this dangerous, horrific, and authoritarian act. Don must be freed immediately. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? As a member of Congress, what are we going to do? The American people can only do so much. They want the American people to do the heavy lifting of what our Congress is supposed to be doing. How, as someone with a functioning brain, not see that this whole entire presidency is a money grabbing scheme and a power grabbing scheme? Trump wants his name on everything. He's using America as a branding tool. He doesn't want to be the president of the United States. He wants to be the most famous person of the United States. He wants to be the most rich and powerful man of the United States. He wants to be the most rich and famous person in the world. And if nobody can recognize that and realize that, and if Congress can't get off their ass and actually grow a backbone, who is going to protect the American people? Having the American people do the heavy lifting is not what this country is supposed to be about. Our justice system is collapsing right in front of our faces. And if you're not angry yet, why not? Just trying to see what's going on. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at y'all. Y'all not doing anything wrong. I love y'all. If you guys haven't, though, I don't know if you guys have. If you guys haven't considered subscribing, please subscribe to my Substack. It's free. If you guys want to go with the free option, I recommend that just to stay update with what I'm doing. I will be breaking down a lot of what's going on in the Epstein files. I have already released so many different articles around the Epstein files and how it pertains to things that are going on in from my own personal experience with sexual abuse, sexual assault, child sexual assault, and the Epstein files. And I've also been just doing a lot of digging and trying to amplify the survivors' voices. So if you guys could please subscribe to my Substack, I would appreciate that so much. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything, but if you do decide to support so that I can continue doing what I love every single day, there are paid options, paid subscription options, but please subscribe, share with a friend, and continue to uplift the voices of the survivors is all that I could ever ask for. As someone who is building their own business, their own brand, I am doing my best to uplift the voices as much as I can. The work that I do is for free, and any way that you guys can support me, that would be great. In fact, let me toss in here. If you guys also want to support, please buy me a coffee. There's the link right there. I don't know what that link is, though. I don't know why they made my link that way. But if you guys want to support, that's all that I ask. Okay, let's see what else is going on in the news cycle right now. There's so much going on in the world right now because it seems like Trump is clashing with his own border czar. The border czar is like, we're gonna double down and we're gonna phase out a little bit. And he's like, no, you're gonna keep the pressure going. So they're battling each other right now. But I think right now arresting a journalist is something that is so significant because it is doubling down on the fact that they're trying to tell us that we do not have our own voices. They want to silence us. Okay, let's see what else they're saying. People are expressing their outrage, which they should. Arresting Don Lemon before arresting the people that killed the ICE agent that killed Renee Good before the two, because it's two people. Let's not forget there are two shooters in Alex Preddy's murder. There are two agents that were shooting. Two. If you look at that, two people, while someone is dogpiled by a bunch of agents, two people are shooting into a lifeless body. Before even doing that, okay, let's see what she has to say.
Guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. They're saying that they were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours, and that they have a warrant for my arrest. I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to go with them, I guess, down to Whipple. And my children are here.
So Georgia Fort was just she had recorded a video of federal agents showing up at her door last night saying that they had a warrant for her arrest because they were able to convene a grand jury. And our First Amendment rights are being threatened right now. And if people can't see that our First Amendment rights are being threatened right now, we have a lot. We like. I just I wish I had more to say right now, but our First Amendment rights are being threatened. Where are you guys at today? What's going through your mind today? What do you guys want to see me talk about? I'm going to be on here for a while, I think. I'm frustrated, and I feel like a lot of us. Another thing that's frustrating me is I'm not the largest creator, right? I only have a couple 100,000 followers across several different platforms that I'm on. But it's frustrating when y'all's faves, I'm not talking to y'all that are watching, but y'all's faves have been very quiet right now. When you can use your the people are so afraid of losing their, and I understand that as someone who is an independent creator that is living off of, brand deals if I get them. I understand losing out on money and losing out on that, but I will never lose my integrity because of money. What is happening in our country is absolutely horrendous. It's terrifying. It's disturbing. There's a 5-year-old in a detention center here in Texas right now that was ordered to not be here by a federal judge for him and his father, whose health is deteriorating. All because this administration doesn't want to release the Epstein files. You can say whatever you want. You can say that they're doing this because they want to crack down on immigration. They want to crack. No, they're going after they're targeting specific places. They're targeting specific people, and they're targeting anyone that seems to be an enemy or wants to push back on what Donald Trump's agenda is. So many people have reached out to me telling me that they're terrified for me for what I'm doing. And to be honest, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. What are they going to do? They're going to arrest me because I speak out on social media. I stay with an attorney on deck. Okay? I just want to wake up one day. I just want one day. I woke up this morning with so much hope. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and kick off my attitude. I'm gonna try and kick off this funk that I've been in. I'm gonna try and not be in a dark place and contribute to society in a way that seems to be fit for me. And then I see that Don Lemon was arrested overnight, and I immediately got outraged. I'm enraged. I think we're not mad enough. I don't think people are still I still think people are in the thought of like, okay, he was elected president. Things probably won't get as bad as they're saying it's going to get. People are still caught up in the fact that it's actually happening, and they're not ready to they're not ready to admit that they are not doing enough. People are not mad enough. People are not scared enough. People are not taking this as seriously as they should be. We are under attack right now. Excuse me. Lord, people are something else. People think it's absolutely okay to infringe upon the rights of the American people because they want to believe so badly that this administration is correct. We are being abused. We are being subjected to abuse. Those of you that are new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse recovery coach. I talk about abuse literally every single day. It's my job. We are being subjected to narcissistic abuse at a level that is unprecedented. And I'm tired of unprecedented times. I'm angry because I worked so hard in through the last year and a half of my life, working through my childhood trauma to get myself to a place where my nervous system can actually relax from the things that I endured in my childhood. And now I'm being thrust right back into my childhood by having to deal with Donald Trump and his narcissistic cronies. And people are saying to me that, "Oh, it's disappointing that you're making things so political. There's no place for politics in your line of work." There absolutely is a place for politics in my line of work because I'm actively calling out the abusive behaviors that we're being subjected to. I'm actively pointing out the the tactics that are being used. People are learning about Darvo for the first time. People are learning about um why does this keep jumping? People are learning about a lot of the techniques that are being happened. So people are getting educated. And the more we're educated, the more we're able to protect ourselves. And the more we're able to protect ourselves, the more we're able to push back against our abusers. And the more that we do that, the more that our abusers are going to they don't like that. That's why things are escalating because people are educating themselves. When we have independent journalists on the ground doing the work for the actual major media companies that are too afraid to push back against this administration, they're trying to silence us. They're trying to silence those voices. Someone said, well, he can have his day in court and the government will prove that he broke the law, journalist or no journalist, he does not have the right to interfere in church services. He was with the protesters planning it prior to it. He knew where it was going to happen. And as a result, that's called purpose participation. He broke the law and hopefully a jury or judge will find him guilty. So, uh, thank you, April. Thank you. April brought me a coffee, y'all. They're arresting journalists instead of the actual murderers. They're arresting journalists instead of the murderers that we saw on 4K with our own eyes. This is frustrating. I just I'm trying to see, sorry you guys. So if you guys keep seeing me look over to my right, it's because I have my other screen up and I'm looking through social media right now. I'm trying to see what people are talking about. I'm trying to see if I can bring any more information to you guys about the situation with Don Lemon. I'm trying to see what's actually happening. Um I think it's evident that the government is going to do whatever they can. They're going to use whatever tactics that they can to try to silence the voice of the American people. This is a fascist takeover. we have to use the words. We have to say the words out loud. We have to acknowledge what is truly happening in order to enact some sort of change. There's supposed to be a federal strike today. I don't know who's. I'm just going through social media right now. What ways are you guys? What are you guys doing right now to kind of help sort of keep your mind settled? What are you guys doing to kind of keep your bodies settled? Like, what are you doing to work through your nervous system? The thing that I have been doing is I've been disassociating so hard by reading books. That's why my book count keeps increasing. If you guys are keeping up with what I post on social media, I've been posting how many books I'm reading. I have a goal to read 50 books a year, and I'm currently on my ninth book. And January is almost over with, so I will be finishing that book before January is over with. So 9 books in January. So that's the one way that I'm using to help kind of disassociate from the reality of what's going on. What are you guys doing for yourselves? Watched all 4 episodes of Bridgerton last night. I haven't been able to get into Bridgerton. I don't know. For some reason, I just have not been able to get into it. I heard it's good, though. I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to stop myself from watching Heated Rivalry for the 7th time. Ooh, okay, so according to Aaron Parnas, I might have more work to do. The DOJ is holding a press conference in a few minutes related to the Epstein files. We may be getting a bunch of files today, is what Aaron Parnas has just. Um, oh, I love Heated Rivalry. I love Heated Rivalry. I am reading all of the books right now, and to be honest, the HR, the HR, the my favorite couple is not Ilya and Shane. They're my second favorite couple, but that's not my favorite couple. Based on the books, Ryan Price and Fabian are my favorite. Ryan Price is just a big softy who's just trying to understand his anxiety. And I don't know, I just connected with that character a lot, even though I'm obviously Team Hollander, but I just wanted to let y'all know that. Okay, breaking news. Oh yes, here's the press conference. Okay, so I'm going to cover the press conference.
Moment. We're going to bring that to you live as soon as it starts, but we're also following some breaking news in the United Healthcare CEO murder case. A federal judge.
Okay, so there is a press conference that's getting ready to start soon over the Epstein files. So I am going to stay on live while we talk about that. So Todd Blanche is going to be holding. I don't trust Todd Blanche as far as I can throw him. I don't trust anybody in this administration.
That's going to be on the table. With this decision today, Judge Barnett has delivered just that.
She said it was at her sister Camp Burrow. No one started blaming the others in the country. Exactly, it's just blame line using. Everyone was arrested. Well, in settlements. Let's see. He broke the law. I really hate when people use the R word. Find ways to insult me, but calling me an ableist slur, it just does something to me.
How the defendant did the stalking, it was clearly the allegations, the stalking allowed in the situation. That's not what the Supreme Court tells us to analyze.
Sorry, I'm going to see if I can get some more people in here while we talk about. I'm live on Substack, and we'll be talking through the briefing by Todd Blanche about the Epstein files. Feel free to join us. Where is the link? Thank you guys for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay. What do you think Todd Blanche is going to say? I think they're going to say, maybe they're going to say we're releasing a few more files, but they're not going to release all of the files. I don't know. Okay, one thing I am excited about though is, so I have been doing hot yoga. I do a lot of like workouts at Hotworks. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Hotworks. It's another thing that I do to kind of help calm my nervous system. Is I do workouts in saunas, so like yoga and isolated workouts and like HIIT workouts and cycling and stuff like that. So today, one of my best friends and I are going to go do some hot yoga and some hot stretch. So take care of your minds, take care of your bodies, take care of yourselves, take care of your souls, take care of you right now. Let's make sure we're continuing to pour into ourselves, listen to our bodies, give our bodies the things that we need to enrich ourselves.
You're our longest Brian Buckmeyer. Thank you both.
I'm going to get a new one of these. I'm going to get a purple one. What do you guys think? Sorry if that makes a lot of noise.
Face potential charges for allegedly violating worshipers' First Amendment rights. ABC's Trevor has the latest.
Hey there, Diane. So this was pretty shocking news to hear announced from Don Lemon's attorney.
Oh, okay, here we go. I'm obsessed with purple too. If you can't tell, if you guys are seeing my whole office, I'm in love with purple. I'm eventually going to set up I should do that. I should do that now. Hold on.
Held the rulings charges were not allowed. Now, this would indicate that the date and a shite did not have conflict. We've heard a statement, a tweet from the Attorney General that said that Don Lemon and a few other people overnight were made at church election. He's still waiting on the official details of that indictment. What we do know is that Don Lemon's attorney released a statement calling this an unprecedented attack on free.
Let's see what happens. Hold on. See if we switch this over. Hold on one second. Okay, well, anyway, they're starting the news conference, so figure that out later.
Trump signed the Epstein files Transparency Act into law on November 19th, 2025, directing the Department of Justice to produce all documents, files, records, videos.
Can you guys hear it? Oh my God, I just reached 67K on Threads. Yay.
With its production obligations under the Act, around, I think right now, and continuing throughout the day to day, as the indexing and uploading completes, we are producing responsive materials under the Act. We are also releasing today a letter we are transmitting to Congress and various internal protocols associated with our review. I want to take a moment to thank the professionals at the Department of Justice.
So they're basically saying that they are they've been scanning in a ton of documents, and they're going to release a letter today.
The Associate Attorney General's Office, the Criminal Division, the National Security Division, the FBI.
He's thanking a bunch of the agencies that have been putting in time for the Epstein files. I think we're going to get a bunch of redacted files that don't explain anything.
500 lawyers and professionals across all those divisions that I just mentioned and others who worked long days, nights, weekends, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, nights, weekends, and holidays to complete this production. These highly trained reviewers spend their careers putting bad guys in jail and effectuating the mission of the department. And to a person, they work tirelessly to protect victims and comply with the Act since its passage. So thank you to all of them. Today, we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos.
They said they're releasing 3 million documents, 2,000 videos, and several documents. They're producing 3.5 million pages today.
Just a 2,000 videos and 180,000 images are not all videos and images.
So 3.5 million documents will be released today. I'm shocked. I am shocked. I can guarantee you they're going to be heavily redacted.
By Mr. Epstein or by others around him.
They're saying the videos and the photos that are being released today are not going to be, it's not all of the videos and photos that they have from the Epstein files.
To ensure compliance under the Act and protect victims. On top of the review protocols that the department had in place, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York employed an additional review protocol to ensure compliance with a court order requiring United States Attorney Jay Clayton to certify that with respect to certain materials, a large quantity of the materials, a rigorous process was undertaken to protect victims against any clearly unwarranted invasion of their personal privacy. The department's collection effort resulted in more than 6 million pages being identified as potentially responsive, including department and FBI emails, interview summaries, images, videos, and various other materials collected and generated during the various investigations and prosecutions that the Act covered. We erred on the side of over-collecting of materials from various sources to best ensure maximum.
So they're saying that they're trying to work into compliance with the Act and transparency. What they're releasing is significantly smaller than what they've all collected, of course. They're only releasing half of what they collected. They didn't produce.
Of documents withheld include those permitted under the Act to be withheld. Files that contain victims' personal and medical files.
Anything personally related to the victims, they haven't released. Any depiction of CSAM, which is child sexual assault material, sexual abuse material. Oh, and they're not releasing anything that contains videos of death.
Necessary to keep secret in the interest of national security or foreign policy. No file
They said no files or are being redacted on the basis of anything else.
Redacted files contain covered by various privileges, as we always do, including deliberative process privilege, work product privilege, and attorney-client privilege. As you all know, under the Act, the Department must subsequently submit to the House and Senate committees on the judiciary a report listing all categories of records released and withheld, a summary of redactions made, including the legal basis for such redactions, and a list of all government officials and politically exposed persons named or referenced in the Act. We will do so in due course as required under the Act. I want to talk for just a moment about the redactions that will be obvious to anyone who reviews the materials that we just produced today. In addition to the documentary redactions, which includes personal identifying information, victim information, and other privileges, there is extensive redactions to images and videos. To protect victims, we redacted every woman depicted in any image or video, with the exception of
So they said they didn't redact any images of men unless it wasn't possible to not identify the victims in the photos.
portions of the responsive production in any unredacted form. They're welcome to make arrangements with the department to do so, and we're happy to do that. I want to talk for a minute about something that is important. Every single day of the year, the Department of Justice investigates and prosecutes those who abuse and traffic young women and children. Just last year, the FBI located over 2,700 victims of child exploitation. The Department of Justice found and terminated 3.8 million dark web pedophile accounts. In August, we charged 11 defendants for extensive sex trafficking in Los Angeles.
So they're saying that they have shut down 3.8 million dark web predator accounts, and they've executed and charged 11 people in sex trafficking rings. But they're not saying anything about charging the co-conspirators. They're not saying anything about what they're doing to take care of the Epstein survivors. They're pointing out the things that they're doing in correlation to sex trafficking as the whole picture, but they're not taking anything seriously as far as the Epstein files. They're trying to say that they care about the sex trafficking, then they care about what's going on, yet they haven't done anything to release the files, or they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything for the victims. We're going to get millions of pages of documents that are just redacted.
This administration work hard every single day to protect the most vulnerable among us. With the production of this magnitude, mistakes are inevitable. We, of course, want to immediately correct any redaction errors that our team may have made.
They said that they want to apologize for any redaction errors.
Concerns when appropriate. That's been in existence since December, and we've been doing that since then. Finally, a very small portion of the documents collected pursuant to the Act include materials that a law firm produced to the SDNY in 2019 pursuant to a grand jury subpoena. This was during the criminal investigation of Ms. Maxwell. We determined that it would be prudent to seek an order from the court in the Southern District of New York seeking production of these materials subject to the protective order in that civil lawsuit. To that end, the department has filed that motion with the appropriate judge and the SDNY, and if that motion is granted, we'll release those materials.
So they're going through a court order to get more files redacted, and once they can get those files redacted, then they'll release more. They want to ensure that transparency to the American people is being followed. They're trying to make themselves seem heroic. They're playing the martyr right now, saying that they've done their due diligence to redact these files and get these files out.
The act will be completed. I'm happy to take any questions anybody has.
Okay, people are starting to ask questions.
I'd like to ask you this sort of for you on the FC release today. It just recently made public that Ghislaine Maxwell claims more than 24 men signed secret agreements with the federal government not to be prosecuted. What is your reaction to that, and what does that mean for her case?
I read an article that described, I wasn't aware that it was actual men that she's claiming. I thought it was accomplices, which I'm not sure if that's a reference to some of the financial institutions or other individuals that
25.
So yes, I don't have a reaction to her filing. I can tell you that we reviewed, as I just described, every single piece of paper that we have associated with these investigations, Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell, and to the extent that such arrangements exist, I'm not aware of them.
On to Minnesota, if I may ask you real quick, that's in the topic, in the headlines right now. There's new video of a man believed to be Alex Preddy, who's spitting, who's kicking out a taillight of a law enforcement vehicle. Does that change the perception of a potential DOJ investigation? Is there going to be a civil rights investigation into his death? Where does that land now that video's out there?
So look, I don't think a single video should.
So
Last Saturday, we've said repeatedly over the past week that
I might have some news on Sasha Riley, so give me a second.
That's what we would always do in circumstances like this, and so that
I wish someone would bring up Sasha Riley. You can hear? Oh, okay.
other. You're talking about one that happened apparently some days ahead of last Saturday.
So they're asking if you guys can hear, they're asking questions about what's happening in Minneapolis and the shooting with Alex Preddy.
Experts in the world of this. They've been doing it for decades, and so I expect that investigation will proceed with those parameters in mind.
Are you looking at a nexus of left-wing groups? Just DOJ said that that's something that.
Good question.
All of this may be related.
I mean, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Attorney General. You said in your remarks that you've withheld some documents because of ongoing investigations. I've done this long enough to know you can't comment on ongoing investigations, but can you say a little bit more? Because as you know, the department has been criticized for not bringing charges against more people. Are there still open investigations related to Jeffrey Epstein?
So what I was laying out in my comments is the statute talks.
Todd Blanche. It's Deputy AG Todd Blanche. They don't trust him. He's such a slithering snake.
Clayton in New York is in charge of any potential investigations, and I'm not going to comment beyond that on that.
You were referring to Clayton.
Excuse me?
You were referring to Clayton's investigation.
I wasn't referring to anything. I was just saying that Congress, in their wisdom,
So they're saying that they have been I'm gonna mute him. So basically, the question is that if the papers that or the documents that they're not releasing, is it because of ongoing investigations? And he said there are ongoing investigations that are happening, and some of the documents that haven't been released are because of that. But if there's ongoing investigations that are happening, yes, you can't specifically talk about those ongoing investigations, but why is this the first time that the American people are hearing that there are ongoing investigations happening? Because the DOJ has been doing nothing but sitting on their hands on these documents, and all they're doing is going through, and I can guarantee you there are going to be redactions that are more than just victims, because they've already done that. They've already done that in the first set of documents that they've released. They've already done that. And I think this mass file dump of what they're doing is going to try. So they're doing it in a way that is going to be incredibly difficult to navigate through all of this paper. So it's going to be, for me, going through all of these documents is going to take so much time. I don't have a team. I don't have other people. It's literally just me. So going through these files and trying to find specific things that I'm looking for and things that we're trying to hold people accountable for is going to be very difficult.
To the extent that there's frustration, I understand where that comes from, just from what we know about Mr. Epstein. I hope that the work that the men and women within this department have done over the past 2 months, hopefully is able to bring closure. I think that what we told our reviewers is that was the goal. You know, there's this mantra out there that, the Department of Justice is supposed to protect Donald J. Trump. And that's what we were telling. That's not true. That was never the case. We are always concerned about the victims. When we said that we were not legally allowed to release documents, that's a fact. That was true. It remains true today. And then with the Act's passage, we are able now and directed to release documents, which is what we are doing. But so hopefully some of those frustrations are now eased. Listen, any victim that wants to speak with it has done so. If not, they should. The prosecutors in this case get hundreds, if not thousands, of hours to working with victims, and that's what we do every day, and that's what we did in this case as well. So, very quickly, can you assure the American public that President Trump, like every other prominent person whose name came up in relation to the Epstein file?
You guys, I'm trying to switch my camera around, trying to switch to a different camera that I have.
Statute, we comply with the Act, and there is no, we did not protect Trump, but it's protect or not.
Hold on.
There's a hunger or thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that. But President Trump, of all the people in Washington, D.C. and around this country that have said for years the same consistent message about Jeffrey Epstein is President Trump. And so there's not been a change of course or anything. And certainly his direction to the American people of the Department of Justice, his direction to the Department of Justice was to be as transparent, release the files, be as transparent as we can. And that's exactly what we did.
Clarify your remarks on the Alex Trenny killing. Are you?
Oh, perfect. There we go. Trying to figure out if I like that angle better. Okay. Do you guys like this camera angle better, or do you want me to go back to the other one? Because now you can see Coach NiaRenee in the back, but now I got to figure this out. Hold on.
It's also looking into it and conducting an investigation, and that's not that shouldn't be treated as making news. It's just we've said that for a week, and then it remains as today as it was last Sunday.
They've never cared about survivors. You're absolutely correct. They have never cared about survivors. Okay, I'm going to switch back to this one for now because my computer's set up. But the next time I come on live, I will go back to the other side. Hold on. So Todd Blanche is basically saying that he doesn't see that there's going to be a whole lot of information that's going to come out from these files. He doesn't think there's going to be a lot of things that are coming out from this document, which tells me that they're hiding that now there's going to be documents that they're holding back for a reason.
So just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abuse the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
You just baked in an assumption in your question that I have never said, and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about
The co-conspirators, Todd Blanche? Please get your head out of your ass.
Through Epstein's,
we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice.
Are these files already out? Hold on. Let me ask.
Tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse.
You don't know whether men out there have abused these women? Todd Blanche is saying that he doesn't know that there are men that are out here that have been abusing these women that he doesn't know. So, and these files are telling us the people that are involved.
Federal chairman Jerome Powell what's the status of that investigation?
They 100% know who the co-conspirators are, and they're doing nothing to protect these survivors. These documents that we're going to get today are going to be heavily redacted. They are going to be heavily, they're going to be hiding everything.
Is it controlled for any investigation?
I just wanted to follow up on Alana's question. So you're saying that the shooting investigation of Alex Preddy is now a civil rights investigation. You're implying that that's always been the case. Can you also say if it has that? What about the shooting of Renee Good? I mean, is that why not is that a civil rights investigation?
I didn't say it was always the case. I said it's the same thing that we said as of last Sunday, as with respect to last weekend. There are thousands, unfortunately, of law enforcement events every year where somebody.
I'm trying to see if these files have been released already, because I see Aaron Parnas talking about some stuff, but
circumstances or facts, or maybe unknown facts, but certainly circumstances that warrant an investigation. So when I talked about last weekend, and when others have talked about this.
Okay, so yeah, these files have got to be out. Aaron Parnas is already talking about them. And I'm not saying everything that he says is.
Follow up on that. Can you just, I know you can't be specific about details of the investigation, but can you kind of just.
Okay, hold on, before I start downloading stuff. Okay, so yeah, I have all 11 of those. So they haven't uploaded any. Where is he getting this information from? Let me go to his. I'm trying to get this information, you guys, so I can start going through them.
Videos, talking to witnesses, trying to understand what happened. I mean, you're talking about an incredibly tragic morning, and then trying to unwind and investigate that it takes a lot of time. I'm not going to what they're doing or not doing by laying any,
Where are these files coming from? I'm curious to see where he's getting these files from.
Which is what was said over the weekend. And our prosecutors and so there's a lot of frustration.
I don't know where Aaron Parnas is getting this information from. He's doing file dumps right now, but I don't see the files and where they're located, so I can start going through them myself. I'm on the DOJ site right now, and I don't see any new dumps. Oh, here we go.
And that's what DHS was doing, as they do every single time something like this happened. There was no.
Okay, let's see what this letter says. Okay, so they released the letter. President Trump signed the Epstein Transparency Act into law on November 19, 2025, directing the Department of Justice to produce, with few exceptions, all documents, files, records, videos, and images related to the investigations and prosecutions of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Today's production marks the department's compliance with its production obligations under the act. So the overview is, as detailed below, the department's document and identification and review protocols consist of multiple levels of review and control. So more than 500 attorneys and reviewers from the department contributed to this effort, blah, blah, blah. The document, okay, let's see. So they're basically, this letter is basically stating all the things that they did to. Okay, great. So where's the new, where are the files? I don't care about the press release. Where are the files? I'm not seeing. This is gonna make me angry. Thank you. Let's try that. Thank you so much, because I'm looking on the actual site. Yeah, I don't see. Okay, hold on. That's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm already on that link. Thank you. Let's see. I'm trying to see where they slid these in at. Maxwell proffer, first phase. Oversight. That's the oversight committees. Yeah, they're making it as difficult to find as possible, for sure. I'm trying to keep up with what's going on. Hold on, let's see what Todd Blanche is saying.
Damage to victims because of that, because exactly the opposite is true when it comes to the Attorney General.
So I have questions on Epstein and yeah, so the first argument is for transparency, would you commit to releasing the body cam video from federal?
Sorry, you guys.
And I did not. This case is also in civil rights realm.
I'm not committing to.
I'm trying my best. Where the f are these files? I do find this suspicious timing that they released all these files the same time that they arrested Don Lemon and the other journalists.
That happen all the time with respect to things like what happened last Saturday, and cases are handled differently by this department depending on the circumstances.
On Epstein, sir, my name is Desmond. That's you mentioned a letter to Congress.
Oh my gosh, why are they making this so difficult? Sorry, you guys, I'm really doing my best.
With the White House, you said there's a letter to Congress. Who did you update at the White House about this?
Well, I don't know. I don't really understand the question. You mean, who did I update?
Yeah, provide them an explanation of what today's release would be.
Look, my team.
This is this is really about to make me mad.
review. They had no oversight over this review. They did not tell this department how to do our review, what to look for, what to redact, what to not redact. They absolutely knew that I was doing this press conference today and that we're releasing the materials today. But
they're saying they're releasing those materials today, but
I wanted to ask a question about the evidence in the Alex Freddie investigation. Early on, our reporting showed that the only type of evidence that the FBI initially had in its possession that it was processing for ballistics and DNA, et cetera, was Freddie's firearm. It did not have the two firearms that were used to shoot Freddie. Those were in the hands of the HSI, and also there were concerns about chain of custody, things not being properly tagged, et cetera. Where are the guns now? Are they in the FBI's possession and being reviewed at one of their labs?
Yo, I promise you, I'm trying my best.
Is been clear with the American people, but also with the Department of Justice that we're doing this.
I'm doing my best. I'm trying to find these documents.
Who actually has possession of the firearms that were discharged?
And the FBI would need in order to conduct a thorough investigation into a color. It's obviously a color law.
When I said I didn't know, I wasn't being critical of the question. I was just simply saying I don't know.
On the Fulton County seizure of ballots, like local officials there, election officials say those materials were set to become public by February 9th, and that the Justice Department could have simply asked for them. Why was it necessary to conduct a search warrant? And do you expect the affidavit of that search warrant matter to become public anytime soon? Do you have any comment or explanation as to why that was necessary?
Some people are just coming at me crazy because I simply asked, where did you get this information from? I simply asked, where did you get the file? Where are you getting these files from? He's reporting on them right now, but I don't see where he's getting them from. And I would love to pour into them. I would love to start digging into them so I can start giving you guys information from the files. And someone was like, he doesn't speak without. Never mind. I'm going to keep it professional or whatever. I don't know if I have to keep it professional. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a concerned citizen that has.
Please explain Tulsi Gabbard's role in DOJ activity regarding Fulton County search.
What do you mean her role?
It was reported that
she happened to be present in Atlanta. I mean, I saw the same photo you did. I mean, she doesn't work for the Department of Justice or the FBI.
Okay, so apparently they haven't been released yet. So I don't know what sources Aaron Parnas is using right now to get get the documents that he's currently reporting about.
She was present in Atlanta that day. It is something that shouldn't surprise me. But
Charlie Maxwell were over them.
all right, just two more. Go ahead.
Following up ahead. So are you saying that Gabbard's appearance in that area had nothing to do with just affirmative action?
I most certainly did not say that. No, I did not say that. I said that exactly the opposite. I said this administration works closely together in all kinds of different areas, and so I'm not sure if they're surprised at that the administration is working together on things like election integrity. But if there is surprise, let me unequivocally state we are working together as an administration on election integrity type issues.
Todd Blanche doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about.
Attorney's office in Minnesota. So I want to be careful about. I want to choose words carefully about involved. Investigations like this are led by law enforcement, so that's the FBI. There's coordination with the civil rights with Harmony Dillon's group, and there's trial attorneys there that this is their lives. They've done this for decades, and so to the extent there's questions during an investigation that require a trial attorney to weigh in, or if you need a civil rights attorney to draft a search warrant or help with an investigative process, I expect the Civil Rights Division here at Maine Justice will be.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm working to bring you information at the same time as I'm searching for it. So I'm just trying to see
What I would describe as a standard investigation by the FBI when there's circumstances like we saw last Saturday, and that investigation, to the extent it needs to involve lawyers at the Civil Rights Division, it will involve those. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. I appreciate it. Matt, the same kind of investigation.
Do you have comment on the prosecutors that are resigning in Minneapolis? You're watching Deputy Attorney General Pat Blanche giving an update on the Justice Department's effort.
Thank you.
Is releasing more than 3 million more pages of files today, as well as.
Yeah, I don't see a release yet.
Blanche says the department's victims' personal information, depictions of abuse or child pornography, and anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. He also defended the department against accusations it doesn't take child sex abuse cases seriously, pointing to more than 290 arrests over the past several months. Our Chief Justice.
Hold on, I think I might have figured out. Okay, so they have released them. Okay, so but it won't let me download those. He said, okay, so he said that people are going to be disappointed. I'm going to go to the ones that I can download right now and start opening those. So there have been 3 more that were added to the Epstein Transparency Act. There's download data set 9, 10, and 11. Those have been added, but they don't have it to where you can download all those files yet. So I am only going to be going through data set 11, where you can actually download them. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's a lot of documents too, because it's taking forever. Let's see what this first one is on this one.
Protecting the president and sort of get along with the liberal pastor about that. I know you can see now those.
Yeah, there are. For example, present.
Okay. Okay, we've got some digging to do. You guys, I'm going to need some caffeine. I'm going to need to smoke a blunt. I have to go to the gym. I'm supposed to be going to the gym with my friend, but these file documents that are being released, I need to go through them. I need to be on top of this. I want to make sure that I bring you guys all my findings. I need to organize this in a way that makes sense. I will be coming through with screenshots. If you guys follow me on Threads, Threads and Substack, I will be releasing it. I will be continuing to go live. I will continue to cover everything that I find as much as I possibly can. This is going to be incredibly difficult for me to do. I'm doing this all by myself. This is going to be difficult for me to do all by myself. So I need you guys to continue to support me, continue to follow me on social media, so that while I go through these files, that you guys will know where what I'm following and what exactly I'm looking for. The things that I'm looking for are the FBI accounts, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The best way to support me, guys, right now, if I'm being transparent and honest, the best way that you guys can support me right now is to continue to subscribe to my work buy me a coffee, subscribe to my work, whatever makes sense to you, whether it's just a free subscription. That support means the most to me, to help me to continue to do what I do, what I love to do every single day. I am going to start diving into I'm waiting for this download to finish. This is a really big file that I'm downloading right now, and I'm waiting for these other files to become downloadable before I start to go through them, because they've made it very frustrating to where for this data sets 9 and 10 are not allowing us to download them, and I'm currently downloading data set 11, and that one is taking a while to download. So I appreciate you guys' support. Please subscribe. Please continue to follow my work. Please continue to support me. Please continue to help amplify the voices of the survivors. And let's find a way to see if we can get justice for the survivors. Todd Blanche said that we're going to be very disappointed in what we find. There isn't a smoking gun, but it's probably because they've done a really good job at redacting these files. There isn't going to be anything in here that we could probably see because it's going to be heavily redacted. Doesn't matter. I'm going to search through them anyway. I'm going to look through them anyway. I don't trust a single thing that Todd Blanche says. I don't trust this Department of Justice. I don't trust our justice system, and I will continue to amplify the voices of the survivors as much as I can. So I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you guys on the next one. Drink some water, get some rest. Don't let anybody's dusty ass child treat you any kind of way. Love you guys, and see you on the next one.